Hello and welcome everyone to this video on Understanding OData Entity Types by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
So hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss understanding OData entity types, and we will discuss the entity types in detail. Now see, what is a OData? So OData is nothing but a protocol for building and consuming RESTful applications, APIs, application programming interfaces. And it defines a set of best practices for defining and consuming data using a variety of technologies including HTTP, AtomPop, and JSON. At the core of OData are concepts like entity types, entity sets, associations, and more. See, so at the core of OData, we have the concepts like entity types, entity sets, associations, and more. So when you open any project in SCGW transaction code, what you see? Open any project and see in data model, you will see entity types, associations, and entity sets. So at the at the core of OData are concepts like entity types, entity sets, associations, and more. And see, here is detailed explanations of OData entity types. So for every OData, you will see these particular 4 folders. See, for every OData, you will see the 4 folders: data model, service implementation, runtime artifacts, and service maintenance. And what this data model is, what it contains: the entity types, entity set, and associations. Now, what is this entity type? So it is an option. It is an option to maintain the collection of fields with data type and length. The term itself is suggesting that entity type. So it is an option to maintain the collection of fields with data type and length. And it is similar to a structure in normal ABAP. So what you normally do in a particular structure? You simply stores a structure is nothing but a collection of fields and fields along with their data type and length. So suppose just go to SE11/O SE11 and open any structure which you have created. So, structure. See, this is a particular structure that I have created, and this structure consists of field and its component type, which is nothing but a data element having its data type and length. So entity type is nothing but it is a way to maintain the collection of fields with data type and length. And using this entity, you will store data in entity and entity set. So entity is an option to hold a single record at a time, and entity is similar to work area in normal ABAP. Now see how we'll be creating any entity type. So for that purpose, simple go to SCGW transaction code. Now click on create button to see how we'll be using any entity, creating any entity type in our OData project. Just give any project name, entity type, and give a description. Entity type, project. Assign the package and click on OK button. So you'll get the 4 folders. Now I'm going to show you how you can use any ABAP structure, any particular ABAP structure to create a entity type. So suppose I'm going to use this particular table, employee table. So I'm going to copy the name of this table. Then right click on the data element, go to import and import from DDIC structure. And here give a name to your entity type or complex type. See, create an entity type or complex type. And here you will be assigning your structure. And if you will select by default, select the entity set here, your entity set will be created. Click on next button. Then select the field that you want here. and click on next. Then select the employee ID, the primary key, then click on finish button. See, our entity type has been created. Go to entity type and see. We can see all the particular in the properties tab. You will see all the field name, employee ID, name, department, and manager. And in entity sets, you will see a default entity set has been created because we have selected the checkbox for default entity set. So this is how you can create any entity type using data model. Also, you can use data model from file, RFC, or search help for your entity type. So what are OData entity types? An entity type in OData represents a structure type with set of properties. See, here we have created an entity type. It represents a structure with the set of properties. What kind of properties? The field and its particular technical attributes. It is akin to a class in object-oriented programming or a table schema in a relational database, and each entity type defines properties, keys, and navigation property. In our this OData service, we can see this particular entity type defines the properties and navigation property. See, navigation properties. Now see here, in the properties, you can see the attributes of the entity. Attributes means fields, which can be primitives, types, example, string, integer, data type, or complex types. Then in keys, what you can see? In keys, we can see one or more properties that uniquely identifies or instance of the entity. And in the navigation property, the term itself is suggesting using this here you provide the references to other entity types, allowing the definition of a relationship. So why this particular navigation properties are used? These are used to give relationship between two entity types. Now see, in simple word, OData entity types are used to define a structure, and the structure is a collection of fields with data type and length. So these are similar to structure in normal ABAP. So this is all about our OData entity types and how we can create them using a structure or a table from our SC11 transaction code. So thank you very much.